Warm welcome also from my side. My name is Thomas Müller-Kirschbaum. I'm the Chief Scientist of Circular Valley, and we are just in the preparation of the next panel here, and the panel is about action of value chain participants for the circular economy. As you know, this is not a single job. This job can be done only along the value chain and very often also cross-industry. And the motto is of the entire day, across borders and across industry. So we are in the heart of the circular economy. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
And I would immediately start in the topic, just not to lose any time, and just to introduce you to my three panelists. And I'm starting with you, Leah. Leah Voormans is Chair Board Brightlands Circular Space and Director Innovation Strategy of the Brightlands Camelot campus. And she is responsible for integral programs that foster circularity in the plastics industry. So including everything from production, recycling, design, human capital, and new storylines and new business models. So perfect. Thank you very much that you're here. I would suggest that we do a big applause afterwards, after the introduction of all the three, so we save some time. So then the next panelist is then louder, the applause, is Dirk Steenkamp. Dirk is board member and CEO of TÜV Nord. He's responsible for the group strategy direction and several other jobs, as you know, the boss of an organization has to oversee. And he will tell us afterwards, after the introduction, a little bit about the intro, so as kind of stimulus for the topic, action for value chain participants, and you will learn more what TÜV Nord is doing beside controlling cars. And the third panelist, happy that you are very happy and warm welcome here on stage, is Frank Terhorst. Frank is Executive Vice President of Bayer Crop Science Division, and he leads the divisional strategy and sustainability efforts. And if you look what is his role, he has to guarantee, his role is just to accelerate the ambitions of the company. So we have the three right people here on stage. And to come a little bit into the topic, Dirk has offered a stimulus. And I would say, Dirk, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So welcome to everybody. I collected a couple of slides. Can we have them projected here perfectly? Thomas, thanks for your kind introduction. I would like to start actually with a topic which normally not really leads to fundamental excitement in the audience, namely the role of standards and norms in the industry. But I would like to show you how important these actually are and what it definitely means to all of our future when it comes to recycling resources, but in particular also the role of critical materials, not only in our civil lives, but also for the purpose of really providing resilience and the ability to defend ourselves in the future. So please, slide number one just gives a kind of, can you switch the slides, please? Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you very much. So this slide is just a short introduction into the overall topic. What you see is, first of all, we are all surrounded more or less by a kind of perma-crisis. We are frequently challenged by new events worldwide, misleading information, conflicts between nations, a completely new role of supply chains which might be interrupted by sudden events. But on the other hand side, we are also permanently pushed and driven forward by more or less technological revolutions. Think about automotive is changing completely from combustion to e-based mobility. We have new technologies, artificial intelligence, quantum cryptography, even post-quantum cryptography. And everybody is actually looking for a direction. Here is exactly where standards and norms come into play, because standards simply provide direction. Standards are nothing else than a handshake between partners where they simply agree upon to do a process, a recipe, and many other things in a defined manner. And this goes across nations, it goes across borders. Yeah, in the best case, it's even an international standard, and this is what our panel will primarily focus upon. This is just a kind of flashback into history when we, for example, had the first standardization of technical environments, namely during the invention of the steam boiled-driven machines. And this was actually also where my company came into play, namely as a technical inspection, testing and certification organization. And since then, we have accompanied many of the industrial revolutions: electrification, computerization, digitization, and now we face other challenges in terms of sustainability, climate protection, as well as protection, for example, of raw material sources. And this is just a small sketch on how the overall world of standards and norms is actually composed. So first of all, we have authorities, for example, the German DIN or the International Standards Organization. They define exactly these handshakes. So by what criteria should a standard be characterized, and what are the criteria a new product, a new process, or a new service has to actually fulfill. And we, as a testing and certification organizations, we are primarily targeted at actually certifying. That means we test the product and we exactly check whether these predefined criteria are met. And finally, we have a satisfied, I even hope happy customer, which holds a new product in its hand, which is meeting certain standardized criteria and norms, and he can be simply proud of it because he knows it is quality checked, it contains exactly the materials which are listed on the backside, and all the, let's say, international norms and standards have been fulfilled, so it is safe and secure when I use it. And I've just tried to collect a very brief summary of what we think is a good standard, what are the ingredients, so to say, of a good standard and a good norm. You can faster read it than I can do it, so it has to be objective. It should be really criteria which can be tested and proved, not just qualitatively, but also quantitatively by numbers. And finally, this was just a short pitch, Thomas, and we can now use as a kind of basis for our ongoing discussions, namely standards for a sustainable and circular economy. Many thanks. Up front.
And please include also the extra applause that I suppressed at the beginning for all our panelists. So again, thank you very much that you are here on stage. Thank you very much for the stimulus. I would like to ask you, Leah and Frank, what is the specific actions that your organization, so Brightlands, and then Bayer Crop Science, is doing along the value chain with the partners? We
decided that
ladies first.
Ladies first, he said. So thank you so much, and thank you for the stimulation pitch. I'm from Brighton's Gemmelot campus, as you said, and a new kid on the block is Brighton Circular Space. Astrid was there before, and I'm leading that Brighton Circular Space, and that's 8 soccer fields large that we're building. With pilot scale-ups, a plot for pilots and scale-ups, a polymer processing hall, a waste preprocessing hall, and in the midst a maker's circular house. And that's the heart of the whole facilities that we're building. It's a 60 million euro investment. That's large in this time, so it's ahead of the curve that we're doing this. And in the midst that circular house, we have analytics there, experience center there, but the most and foremost part is building consortia along the value chain. So we bring around the table the financial market, banks, investors, people from the chemistry, from brand owners to waste parties, but also the creative sector. See those nice sculptures here. That's important to get them involved, the creative sector. Not only artists, but industrial designers are important to us for the new materials. And we bring the consumers, the government, all around the table to connect to new technologies. And if we have them around the table, demand-driven, then we take them to our facility. And the facilities are semi-industrial equipment that we have in all those buildings that I just described. And it's a demonstrator, a fully industrial scale demonstrator for circular plastics.
Okay.
And we want to bring along all the people to get to new business models, new jobs, new materials, inspiring designs, etc., for new recyclable products. That's what we do. And it's all about people and trust, as I said, bringing along the value chain.
Thank you very much, Lia. Yeah, thank you.
It was a pitch in itself.
Frank, we are close to lunchtime, and then we think about agriculture, and crop science plays an important role. So what is your contribution to the value chain?
Yeah, thank you, Thomas, and also good morning from my side, everyone. Carsten actually positioned the chemical industry as the lifeblood for the industry. I actually want to put in the limelight here the oldest industry in the world, which is the lifeblood for all of us, and that is agriculture. And if we kind of translate that concept of circular economy and bioeconomy into agriculture, we use the term regenerative agriculture as the one where we have, I think, very exciting new opportunities to work together across the entire value chain and create new value for farmers, for consumers, but also for the planet. And the concept of regenerative agriculture is actually pretty simple. It's about giving farmers tools and solutions to actually have a profitable business and further increase productivity, but at the same time reduce the impact of agriculture on the environment and actually restore nature. And in order to do that, we, together with value chain partners, work on so-called outcome-driven systems, where we align on what we expect from these new solutions, and that goes far beyond productivity or yield or quality of produce, and it entails concepts like reducing emission. We heard about sustainable aviation fuels earlier today from Lars, and many other concepts that help actually to restore nature and actually use agriculture to actually feed the world, but also be part of solutions for many other problems that we're currently facing.
May I ask directly a second question concerning success factors and in particular traceability? I think that's important in your business as in other businesses as well. What about the traceability, or how to improve traceability for the efficiency of bioeconomy?
Yeah, traceability and digital and data solutions are actually at the heart of all that, because what you then need to do is trace every step in the process. And one great example, I think, for that, which also speaks to what we've heard earlier, is basically in an early investment that we did in the United States into a startup that developed a new cover crop. A new crop out of basically a weed. What is a cover crop? A cover crop is something that farmers can plant during winter time between their main crops in the first year and the second year. And that cover crop is actually important because it covers the soil during winter time, and with that avoids erosion. It actually helps to further increase soil quality and soil health, and with that also reduces carbon emissions. And in that specific example, that company, CoverCress, which we in the meantime acquired, delivers a new crop that is a very low carbon emission feedstock for renewable diesel, and then in the next step, sustainable aviation fuel. In order to build something like that, you need partners. And our partners in this specific case are Bunge and Chevron. So we have developed a closed loop system where we maximize the value for all participants. It gives also then the farmers the certainty that they get a premium for their produce. So ultimately it helps the farmer to get an extra cash income for a crop that where in the past he couldn't plant, or he didn't have the opportunity to plant anything, and also it generates that volume that we need for sustainable aviation fuel. So in that regard, it's a great example how a sustainability solution can be a great business opportunity if partners in the value chain work together. And I'm saying this only because Lars also mentioned it this morning. We need better European regulation to allow this to happen also in the European Union.
Thank you very much. Regulation is the right keyword. I would like to come back to you, Dirk. You mentioned already the topic of standards that are important. Sometimes we hear in the last weeks and months the industry is complaining about too many, let's say, reportings based on maybe standards. What is your opinion? Do we have the right standards, or talking about also digital passports, what is also a kind of standard, how to use the data, but also to transfer data? What is your position to that, and how is TÜV involved in those topics?
Yeah, so first of all, I think we all have to recognize that there is a clear track history when you follow companies which can be startups. That's very important for them. Standardization is one of the key topics, because when they start too late in their development process, it will get very costly at the end. So I have experienced many startups in my life as a manager, which finally failed because simply the cost for standardization, and for example, in particular when they're in the medical area, it's reflected too late in their overall development process. It becomes too costly, and then products can definitely fail. But your question is a different one. It's a clear track history that the most successful companies are those companies which qualify themselves to the highest standard. Because it is simply a promise to their customers that I, as your supplier, meet highest requirements worldwide. On the other hand side, there is definitely the danger that when you are, for example, providing your product to multinations, that you have to certify your product under different national authorities, so to say, and then the national regulations can be even conflicting among each others. And this is definitely something we work on the EU level by specific committees to really rule out these conflicting norms and standards across the EU, simply to gain speed and to lower the cost for the standardization and the certification. Just to mention, however, some, let's say, recent success example where we as TÜV Nord also have been involved. In Germany, we know we are under heavy pressure with respect to our steel industry, because we have international competition which sometimes overwhelm the market with cheap products. But we have developed jointly with a German federation and association for steel, we have developed a new standard. It's called LESS, for low emission steel standard. So it's simply a qualification mark for green steel.
Yeah.
And this is extremely successful within a relatively short amount of time. Yeah, so we launched it during the Hannover Messe last year, and it now has really become extremely successful in the over the time. And just to show you that there are examples, yeah, even national initiatives can be very, very helpful, yeah, to help industries which otherwise would be really under pressure to show their product, to show the quality level, yeah, and to show really the compliance with very demanding criteria, just to do a little bit marketing for one of the most recent successful standard developments.
Thank you very much. Leah, your business is to create business with your partners along value chains, but also across value chains. What are your key success factors at Brightlands?
The key success factors at Brightlands and Brightlands Circular Space, what we aim for is the time to market is much more quicker because we've put all the facilities together in one unique model. So from waste towards a new product in one flow. All the analytics and standardization, as you said, is an important one. It's about upscaling. It's about market creation. It's about being quicker than only academic research application, but it's about upscaling, and that's so important. That's a success factor number one. New materials, recyclable. The second one is that we're in the midst of that ERA cluster, Antwerp, Rotterdam, Ruhr-Rhine area. And a lot of consumers with our new feedstock, mixed plastic waste that we use as new feedstock, are around us. That's important. Another success factor is that we know how to collaborate. We know about scaling up. We have a lot of startups, a lot of new technologies, but it's about bringing those people around the table with other partners that they don't work with. We have experience with building consortia like that. One of our last ones is the European Horizon project, Syschemic. We work with partners in Flanders, Netherlands and North Rhine-Westphalia together, 21 partners, academia, so Aachen Institute, Ghent, Maastricht University, but also companies, brand owners and startups work together on the recyclability of circular plastics. And next year in June, we have our last big event, so all the results are there. So I invite you to join us the 23rd of June. And we have another trilateral meeting there, I presume, if I may invite you there to get results, because it's not about talking anymore, it's about doing. And that's what we do at Brightlands Circular Space.
Wonderful, thank you very much. I would like to open the last round here. We are close to Christmas. And you know, everybody at Christmas, some people have wishes free. You have, unfortunately, only one wish free from the position of your organization, your company, or for the business you are in. What you would like to see happen to accelerate circular economy along the value chain. So would you like to start, Frank?
Yeah, I can. So one wish free for me, it's all about scalability, and I think that came also through this morning. So I think we already have really proven concepts and products and solutions in many parts, and that includes agriculture as well. So how can we bring this up to scale? And in agriculture, this means how can we bring these solutions to hundreds of millions of farmers globally, big and small. And in order to do that, it requires value chain and partnerships. It requires strong collaborations between partners, governments, and also non-governmental organizations. We are a part of one concept which is called Better Life Farming. This concept basically addresses smallholder farmers in Asia and Africa. We are doing this together with Yara, a large fertilizer company, with Rabobank, with other non-governmental and governmental institutions, and that concept allows then solutions and products and financial and market services to go to hundreds of millions of farmers. So we need more of that, I think, in all industries to really bring these solutions, the current ones and the future ones, up to scale into the world.
Thank you. Leah.
My wish for Christmas is that we have in 10 years' time, when we look back, we have restrained Europe and the competitiveness of Europe, and that we have a new circular economy, and that every consumer is used to that the awareness of using circular products is mainstream, that we save the planet, please, because my children have to grow older and would like to have children too, on a healthy planet. That would be my wish for Christmas.
Thank you very much. Dirk, you have the last wish for this panel here today.
So my wish would be that Santa Claus would knock at the doors in Berlin and Brussels to simply start a wake-up call on the importance of circular economy. Because we simply have to realize that we are not in the possession of critical materials we need within Europe to further maintain our level of wealth. And we have to find ways how to secure these raw materials, that when we don't possess them, that at least when they once have arrived in our economical system, keep them here and restore them from the products they are currently as an ingredient incorporated into, because otherwise we will run into severe problems. I already forecast the next crisis we will see in the semiconductor industry, because China is not only shortening rare earth, but they're also shortening in germanium and in gallium. And these two materials are fundamental for the production of semiconductor highly integrated circuit devices. And this is the next upcoming crisis. No more infrared cameras, for example, defense purposes. No more silicon germanium transistors for our cell phones. No more gallium arsenide-based laser diodes for optical fiber communication. This is the predicted, as I say, next crisis we are going to face if we are not capable to recycle these materials from the products which already surround us. That would be my wish.
So the message is we need more to recycle.
Definitely.
To have resilience in the system. That's anyway important for circular economy. We are just in time at the end. So big applause to the three panelists. Thank you very much for being here. So.